The Pokemon market right now is genuinely one of the hardest things that I've had to try and predict. And the reason for that is because there's so many moving parts. Right now, we're all dealing with scalpers getting new products pretty much straight away. We have a new 30th celebration set releasing, and also some cards are at historic highs. So I have thought about it, and I do have some predictions of what I think will be happening with the Pokemon market within the next 12 months. Now, obviously, I'm not a fortune teller, but there is something that I don't think a lot of people fully appreciate, because every single video that I make on this channel, honestly, it's like an essay. I then need to research it, I need to study the data, and then I need to come towards a conclusion, and then I essentially report it by creating a video. Honestly, it's like the equivalent of creating like a college or university essay. Now imagine just reporting and looking at the market data and talking about Pokemon cards for over 400 videos. I mean, after a while, it's crazy because I can start seeing things that are really hard to sort of unsee. There's patterns, cycles, and moments where the market behaves in a way, and I know how to draw from that because I've documented it before. And that's where I'm coming with these predictions. It's not like really just me guessing. It's essentially 400 essays worth of pattern recognition. So I'm not trying to say here that my predictions are better than yours, but all I want to say is that I have probably a higher level of pattern recognition because of the areas I've seen on this channel. So one of the first areas that I do want to talk about is expect the singles for the 30th celebration to not be as expensive as a lot of people expect. Yes, I know this is probably going to be seen as a hot take, but I genuinely don't believe the prices of singles will be that expensive. In fact, I think it will be one of the most affordable master sets in the modern era. I personally don't think we're going to see prices like the Mega Gengar or the Pikachu SIR from Ascended Heroes for any of the cards for the 30th celebration. The only cards that I will say will be very expensive and ones that I would keep an eye out for are the promo cards from the UPCs and the Pikachu Futuristic Rares, along with the Pokemon Center promo as well. They're the ones that I think are going to actually be some of the most expensive cards from the era, particularly the UPC stuff, man, because that is so hard to get right now. Those UPCs are insanely expensive already, so the promos are also going to be fetching higher prices. But in terms of the actual cards that you can pull from the celebration, honestly, I don't think that they're going to be as insanely expensive as a lot of people are predicting. And I know this is going a little bit against the grain because people are going to be saying, no, Phil, 30th celebration, it's going to be cooked, prices will be outrageous. But like I said, for cards that you can pull from the booster packs, I actually don't think it's going to be the case. The reason being is because each booster pack will contain 5 foil cards, and that includes one of the 30 Pikachus. Now, based on the rumors and speculations that we've seen, the word on the street right now is that Pokemon's 30th set will be the most printed set in history. And some are even saying, again, this is all just speculation, but there is word that it's going to have more than double the amount of printing than previous set. Now, truth be told, usually I wouldn't believe that, but the only reason why that may be a possibility is the fact that the 30th celebration contains 5 cards inside the booster packs rather than the 10 cards inside regular booster packs. So yeah, it does start seeming a little bit more likely. And another thing you got to remember as well, when we look at the previous 25th celebration set, the cards initially were super expensive, but then after a while, they actually became very affordable for a long time. In fact, there wasn't that many cards from the original celebration that were on like a level of Moonbryon or anything like that. Also, if you've been loving the video, my name's Phil and I love creating content around Pokemon cards and collectibles. Honestly, I'd love to have you subscribe for consistent content. But the real area that I think, and this is just the prediction that I have in the next 12 months, I'd actually expect the singles to be a little bit more attainable than a lot of people are expecting. In fact, my strategy is actually going to be trying to buy the singles myself rather than open the pack. The main reason for that as well, the only ones I would be looking out for is those promo cards, because as you all know, promo cards are where things get pretty insane, given the fact of how expensive the ultra premium collections are and the Pokemon Center stamped versions. They're definitely going to be ones to look out for. The price of the hobby has gotten crazy, but yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of packs being opened of this set. And also, if Pokemon knows the amount of demand, I'm really hoping, given the fact that this celebration set has been hyped for like 2 or even nearly 3 years, the reality is the 30th celebration is the most in-demand Pokemon product I've pretty much ever seen. More than 151, Prismatic, all of that has been blown out of the water for this 30th celebration set. It has really gone to the mainstream, so I do expect there will be a lot of product out there. Also, by the way, I did want to mention that I am going live on Whatnot on 17th July, 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be giving away Pokemon booster packs within that stream and selling some packs and singles as well. Now, today's video is sponsored by Whatnot, and if you've never used Whatnot before, it's a live shopping platform. So right here, I'm on the home screen of Whatnot, and I can just check Pokemon cards because that's exactly what I'll be trying to collect. Oh, here we go. We even got some vintage here as well. Good. This stream is doing a real good job. I can just move the chat away as well if I swipe. As you can see on this stream, the bid is actually going for a lot, currently selling for 580 USD, but I've got to give a shout out to this streamer because they're really doing a good job showing the quality of the card and making sure that you get a good viewpoint as well. What I love about Whatnot though, it's not just about buying cards in streams and live shopping. You can actually use it as a regular marketplace. So here I'm just searching for PSA 10 Pokemon and I can buy all of these like any other marketplace, again, not in a live stream. Oh, here we go. Japanese Oricorio there, right there, 230. But it's cool, I could also make an offer, minus 20%, minus 15. Also, I can make a custom offer as well if I wanted to buy it. Honestly, if you do want to try it out, I highly recommend jumping on my stream as you can just join the giveaways. If you are a first-time user, I do have a $15 credit for you to use. Just head to the link in the description or scan the QR code appearing on screen right now. A massive thanks to Whatnot supporting the channel. Now let's get back to the video. I have spoken about this, and again, this is one of my predictions that I do have, though I do think there is going to be a lot of exploration in certain generations. Right now, there seems to be a massive focus on Generation 3, or there's a lot of speculation, especially with the Mega Ray Quasar set that's releasing, throwbacks to Generation 3 in the Hoenn region. At the moment, I do see that happening, but like the likes of Pokemon 151, which was a pure Generation 1 theme set, but again, that was released in Scarlet and Violet, and really, when you look at it, 151 has no drawings or no connection points to Generation 9 whatsoever. There isn't even any terrestrialized cards within Pokemon 151. So the thing is, these Generation theme sets can release whenever they please, and the same thing with Black Bolt and White Flare. Both of those released, again, in Generation 9, and a lot of people didn't expect that to happen either. And again, they have zero connection to Generation 9 either. They're literally just Generation 5 theme sets. Though I do think that pattern of having a Generation 1 or a Generation 5 theme set will repeat, and I would be on the lookout for that. I just feel it's one of the easiest ways to draw in massive amounts of audiences. There is a bit of a question mark of what's going to be happening after the 30th celebration. Right now, I personally don't think that there is so much from the news that we have right now to look that crazily forward, and I don't even know how a set is going to top it either, with the amount of hype, with the amount of momentum and everything. Generation 5's Black Bolt White Flare, interestingly, weren't that loved when they came out. One thing I've noticed about Generation 5 is that it gets a lot of people think, oh, just because people are vocal on the internet that makes up real life, but it's really not always the case. And we see that as well, like when you talk about most popular video games, if you talk to online communities or what video games people love, if you're talking about the PS5, everyone's gonna say, oh yeah, it's God of War, it's solo single player adventures, but really, what are the most selling games of all time? It's Call of Duty, it's FIFA, it's sports games. They bring in the massive audiences, but those casual gamers or casual fans don't make up the dedicated fans that are talking about it online and going in forums and all of that. Same thing here with like Generation 5 and that Generation 5 theme set. Yes, they were hyped. Yes, they were loved, but there was a loud amount of dedicated fans talking about that. And in all honesty, I do love Black Bolt and White Flare, though they didn't get their love for at least like a whole year after release. But there is one thing that a lot of people forget, because while Generation 5 gave us some of the most iconic Pokemon card sets in the Scarlet and Violet era, the games themselves weren't nearly as loved at the time. They introduced some of the biggest changes within Pokemon in the whole franchise's history, and a lot of fans, it was just way too many changes all at once. So if you've ever wondered how Generation 5 went from being one of Pokemon's most controversial eras to one of the most celebrated, I actually made an entire video breaking that down on Phillips Trick Room. You can see the link in the description if you want to check that video out. It's a great topic, definitely worth exploring. Now, another area that I am expecting within the next 12 months is there will be a massive spike after the 30th celebration, though I am expecting a bit of a drop off after that, probably within 12 months after the 30th celebration releases. Reason being is there has been almost like everyone has been collectively focused on this one goal, which is the 30th celebration. And it's been like that for pretty much 2 or 3 years at this point. Though there will be a time where people just go, you know what? This is getting very hectic. There's been so much hype and momentum. We need a breather. And you will get some of those massive amounts of collectors to leave, or the people that have just started collecting recently to leave. The thing that I've spoken about, and I have mentioned it, Pokemon cards are never at some crazy threat to never have an audience. I think that a lot of people think like, oh, it's going to zero, and that big thing, like that, it won't happen because there is a base point in the hobby, or whatever you want to call it, a floor of the hobby. Now, what that is just people who love collecting Pokemon who have been doing it before any of the hype or before there was any money in it, because they just genuinely love collecting Pokemon and they love playing the video games and they love all of that. That area is already in a way safeguarded. So this whole thing that there's going to be a massive drop off, there may be a bit of a correction point, but I wouldn't be expecting at all that it's going to be some huge amount of drop. Within the next 12 months, the biggest kind of thing we can see is what's going to be happening after the 30th celebration. That is the biggest question mark in the hobby right now. It's where everyone's a little bit cloudy. It's where no one really knows the direction of what's going to happen, because we've all been waiting so patiently for this set. Now, my opinions on 30th celebration, I am not a big fan of celebration themed sets in general, whether it's for Dragon Ball and the anniversary sets, or whether it's for even Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, that's my personal preference, though the market thinks otherwise. The market absolutely loves it, and it is a massive nostalgia tool as well. And look, 30 years of Pokemon, what they've achieved and what Pokemon's achieved in 30 years. So there is a lot to kind of look at when Pokemon and how global it is, though it will be interesting to see how much longer this can actually last. Though with all these things considered, there is some really important info that everyone collecting Pokemon right now needs to know. And the 5 most important things are explained in this video on screen here. In this video appearing on screen right now, I explore that topic in detail. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you watching, and hey, I'll see you on the next video.